The question I would ask for those Reddit investors is, what is your end game? What do you hope to get out of this?
I know we like to target the big hedge funds and talk about how they manage money and how they get rich themselves. The reality of it is they have a skill set.
Ladies and gentlemen, the financial world is rigged. Cartels openly conspire together, even to break the law, to protect their own assets at the expense of retail investors, rather than take a very deserving loss on their... Just shut up a moment. This is important. I need everyone listening to shut down their Robinhood accounts, to march to the front door of their local banks, and demand to open up a savings account. This has been Fiat Daily, with a please sponsor me message. All of which has beautifully culminated into the ultimate advertisement for why the world needs Bitcoin. Mr. Beast and even Elon Musk now hashtagging it on their Twitter profiles as a badge of honor. Never before has it been so apparent why Bitcoin is so necessary, why blockchain is necessary. And while what I'm about to get into is a huge topic to comprehend, the manipulation, what exactly they did, what they're doing, why the hope isn't yet dead, I will hopefully explain it in a way that it will be simple to grasp. Venture capitalist and Bitcoin Super Bowl Chamath recently on CNBC gave a fantastic interview and broke down what's happening into 3 stages.
I think that what you're seeing is essentially a pushback against the establishment in a really important way. You have a lot of people, and I would encourage anybody who is dismissive of this thing to go into Wall Street Bets and actually just read the forums. And I think that you're going to see 3 kinds of posts. The first kind of content are a lot of people doing some incredible fundamental diligence on companies, trying to think about long-term value. And in my opinion, many of them are doing as good and frankly a better job than a lot of hedge fund analysts that I work with. That's number one.
This all started with fundamentally good analysis. There was a genuine goldmine of an opportunity with GameStop stock that took the eagle eye of a retail investor, posting it again and again to Wall Street Bets subreddit, the contents of which would have put most suit analyst skills to shame. The company wasn't on the brink of collapse. They had a decent cash flow in reserve, but the stock was trading unusually low relative to earnings because a large institution was manipulating the stock price down for their gain via naked short selling. This buy GME movement was not a pump and dump scheme, at least not on the retail side. It was a calculated move. The plan was to dump on institutions who could not exit their shorts without buying a lot of the stock to cover their positions, which was in short supply, so they would be pushing the stock to the moon. Same thing happened in 2010 with the silver market. Same thing happened apparently to Volkswagen. That's what that is. Let's continue.
The second are a lot of people who believe that, coming out of 2008, what happened was Wall Street took an enormous amount of risk and they left retail as the bag holder. And a lot of these kids were in grade school and high school when that happened. They lost their homes, their parents lost their jobs, and they've always wondered, why did those folks get bailed out for taking enormous amounts of risk and nobody helped and showed up to help my family?
So, step 2, give people a cause. That speaks so true to me. The reason I'm here making this video today is because of what happened in 2008. I learned about Bitcoin for the first time in early 2017 and immediately took a week off work to study and learn about it. It ignited in something inside of me like almost nothing else had ever done previously in my life. And it's because I hated the banks, honestly. And so I started a YouTube channel to share my enthusiasm and let other people know about this amazing thing that exists. Let's continue.
The realization that instead of having idea dinners or, quiet whispered conversations amongst hedge funds in the Hamptons, these kids have the courage to do it transparently in a forum. And I'm not saying all of it is perfect by any means, but I think it takes an enormous amount of faith in the system to be that transparent, to talk about things, and then for each individual to make their own mind up and to do things, whether it's to buy and to sell.
To recap, stage 1, good fundamental analysis. Stage 2, give people a reason, a cause they can get behind. And step 3, empower people to act. The internet has given rise to decentralized communities all over the world. Wall Street bets can seem like a weird cult, but their own side of the internet, but it's freely available for anyone to join. It's a representation of what some people want to do and to talk about. Financial institutions hate this development. They would rather you rely on them and be told what to invest in and charge you fees for it. But the world is changing. So these 3 things combined created a shooting upward stock price for GME. The fact that GameStop wasn't considered a good long-term bet turns this into a really big meme, which is amazing marketing actually, because if there's one thing that everyone loves, it's something funny.
What is the most popular thing in the world?
Music.
No.
Tell me.
Ice cream.
Okay.
It is not over though, not by a long shot. Even though Wall Street tried to end it and crossed the line doing so, Robinhood, one of the largest stock trading platforms in the world, made a move to unilaterally pause all buys on GameStop stock for a day, but still allowed sells. That is mind-blowingly outrageous and possibly the most extreme example of market manipulation that's potentially humanly possible to display. Other similar stock trading platforms did likewise. Let's hear from the Robinhood CEO try and attempt to explain that one to us.
Some of your customers, Vlad, are enraged. I mean, they say you're siding with Wall Street, that this is a crime. One person even saying that you should go to jail. What is your response to that?
So there's a lot of misinformation out there. In particular, there's people saying that we were forced to do this by market makers we route to or other market participants. And I just want to come out and say that that's categorically false. We weren't directed by a market maker or any other market participant. This was...
That's really weird he should say that, because the CEO of Webull.com, another place you can trade stocks with, directly contradicts this. GameStop trading restrictions blamed on Wall Street's clearing firm by online broker. The chief executive of popular online brokerage Webull Financial LLC said Thursday that the restrictions placed on trading GameStop Corp and other high-flying stocks rested with the platform's clearing firm that helps streamline trades. So if you're unfamiliar, Robinhood doesn't directly do any trading for you. They route your activity to a clearinghouse for the actual selling and buying. They're known as Apex Clearing Corp, and 95% of all trading activity goes through them. They front-run your buys and sells, and they did forcibly stop trading. What this could equate to is a dealer at a roulette table taking the ball out as it's in mid-spin because he didn't like where it was headed. But don't you worry, you are free to leave anytime you want, and he'll even give it back to you tomorrow. Someone get me the SEC. As much as we love that organization who continually rejects Bitcoin ETF applications for, what was it again? Market manipulation. Good one. They need to make it beyond clear that what these firms did was illegal. They did just put out a statement saying, SEC to review brokers' restrictions on GameStop AMC trading. Security regulators said Friday they plan to closely review the actions of some brokerage firms that restricted investors' ability to trade volatile stocks, such as GameStop, this week. Okay, that's something. I honestly don't know if they're gonna side with the Wall Street guys and blame this all on a subreddit. Like, I can so see them doing that. The reason that this is even a question, amazingly, is because the SEC, for their many years of operation, has still not clearly defined what market manipulation is. They say it's transactions which create an artificial price or maintain an artificial price for a tradable security. What is artificial? That is beyond vague to be nigh useless. Anyway, what Vlad is saying here is it wasn't the clearinghouse when apparently it was. Is he trying to protect his business partners? Anyway, let's continue.
A technical and operational decision that we made because Robinhood, as a brokerage, has financial requirements, including clearinghouse deposits that we have to make to various clearinghouses. Some of these requirements fluctuate based on volatility in the markets, and in this current unprecedented environment, can be substantial. So to protect the firm and protect our customers, we temporarily disabled buying in these securities. And we hope to re-enable buying as soon as tomorrow morning.
So they're protecting customers and themselves, not the suits, by making sure that everything's okay with clearinghouse deposits. I don't really understand that. It rings quite hollow. The run-up in price was caused by retail. If it starts to go down, it's retail that loses, and they created the perfect environment for losses to occur. In fact, nothing else could happen. They ensured that it would.
Now, your mission, Vlad, you've always said has been to democratize markets, and your brand is really important. And I wonder how concerned you are about a hit to your brand, because some would say, you know, if you're about democratizing markets, why restrict trading at all? You look a lot more like perhaps the Sheriff of Nottingham playing dress up than Robin Hood himself.
That is a savage burn.
So we restricted buying temporarily.
Yes.
You know, we're obviously all about access and...
Anyway, that's enough from this corporate spokesperson. At the very same time that they paused buys but allowed sells, the news broke that Melvin Capital, the institution who was naked shorting GameStop the most and losing the most money by this price action, even needing a bailout from their Wall Street friends, has exited their short, which, if true, would take away the rocket fuel behind a further rally. Wall Street Bets was counting on a further short squeeze here to send the stock to the moon. So this was a huge blow, and it was reflected in the price action. Yet, we are now up on GME, up on AMC. Why? According to, is the squeeze squoze? That's a real thing. The squeeze has not been squoze. GME shorts have not begun to close their position in substantial numbers. The situation as of January 29th shows that short interest is anywhere from a huge 75% to over all the existing stock in the market at 113%, aka short, naked short selling, selling what you don't actually own. How is this story then of a $13 billion hedge fund closing its position, accepting huge losses, true? If it was, this should be reflected in the volume of options, and yet isn't. Either way, it looks like the ability to further squeeze these hedge funds from their short positions is very much still alive. Either way, if it's not them, it looks like it's someone else, and as long as the ability to force institutions to buy our bags looks to still be on the table, despite this bizarre piece of news, the attack on Wall Street looks set to continue, and I wish the retail community all the success in the world. It's not like they don't deserve a win for once. These people have constantly been abused by those in positions of power and have been caught red-handed doing it yet again, and I just don't want them to get away with it anymore. So why is this the ultimate advertisement for Bitcoin?
Do we get them?
Yeah, no, but hopefully blockchain is the answer to that.
Oh, see, they said it. Hopefully blockchain is the answer to that. That's what we said. We just said that in this live stream too. Blockchain would solve all of this bull crap. That makes me very bullish, by the way, on Bitcoin. Today explained why Bitcoin, money.
Well, it's not just Bitcoin, but all blockchain. The importance of decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, where your orders are not front-run like with Apex Clearing Corp, that cannot pause trades and is available to anyone with an internet connection, is obviously important. Ethereum is something that can be tokenized to represent shares of a company and traded on these platforms, just like stocks, is something we need to make happen so we can stop getting abused by financial institutions. Wealth inequality is bad and made so much worse when things like naked shorting is allowed by the elite and impossible for the average person. We need to take their power away. Nothing does it better than attacking their money.
Bitcoin has the power to undermine everything they're doing to people around the world. And I'm sorry for shouting, but it just disgusts me what these people in government do. And they do it through central banking and through the control of the money supply, and Bitcoin takes that away from them.
GameStop is the battle, but Bitcoin is the war. More people are starting to realize this. The Wall Street Bets community has been spotted migrating over to the crypto subreddits. And finally, Elon changes his bio from CEO of Doge to simply Bitcoin, saying, quote, "It was inevitable." 258 million in Bitcoin shorts immediately get liquidated. But it does beg the question, is he just talking about changing his Twitter bio or something else, which ranges, I'd say, all the way from decent, like being able to buy a Tesla using Bitcoin, the payment processor likely converting it back into USD at moment of purchase, all the way over to insanely godlike amazing, the announcing that Tesla is putting part of its cash reserve balance sheet into Bitcoin, which would no doubt incite more companies to follow suit, no doubt pump Tesla stock even more. Either way, this is good for Bitcoin. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one.